Let's talk about logs, the digital footprints that every system leaves behind. Because when something goes wrong, logs are how investigators rewind the movie and see who did what, when, and from where. In cybersecurity, logs provide a chronological record of events and activities that help detect incidents, troubleshoot problems, and support investigations. And on the exam, this shows up when a scenario asks what data source can be used to reconstruct an attack timeline, where the correct mindset is always check the logs. Firewall logs record information about network traffic that is allowed or blocked, including source and destination IP addresses, ports, protocols, and timestamps, which helps determine whether suspicious connections were attempted or stopped. On the exam, when a scenario describes repeated blocked connections from an unknown IP address, the correct data source to review is firewall logs, because they show what tried to enter and what got denied at the network perimeter. Application logs capture events generated by software, such as errors, user actions, and system messages, which help identify crashes, misuse, or exploitation. A typical CompTIA question might describe a web application behaving strangely or failing, and the correct place to look for detailed activity is application logs, not network traffic or firewall rules. Endpoint logs record activity on individual devices like laptops and desktops, including logins, file access, and system changes, making them essential for tracking what happened on a specific machine. In a scenario where one user's computer is suspected of being compromised, the correct source of evidence is endpoint logs, because they tell the story of what that device was doing. Operating system security logs contain authentication events, privilege changes, and policy enforcement activity, such as Windows event logs or Linux authentication logs. On the exam, when the question mentions reviewing failed logins or privilege escalation, the correct data source is OS security logs, because they track what the operating system itself is protecting. IDS and IPS logs provide details about detected attacks, malicious signatures, and responses taken, making them critical for identifying intrusion attempts. In a scenario that describes alerts for known attack patterns, the correct logs to analyze are IDS or IPS logs, because these systems are designed to detect and respond to threats. Network logs show overall traffic patterns, connections, and communication between devices, helping analysts identify abnormal behavior and lateral movement. When CompTIA describes unusual network flows or suspicious connections, the correct source is network logs, because they reveal how data is moving through the environment. Metadata in logs includes information such as timestamps, sources, and event types, which provides context and allows analysts to correlate events across multiple systems. On the exam, when the goal is to line up events from different logs into a timeline, the correct concept is metadata, because it links entries together. Vulnerability scan results come from automated tools that identify weaknesses, missing patches, and misconfigurations, helping organizations understand their exposure. A typical scenario might ask which data source reveals unpatched systems, and the correct answer is vulnerability scan data, not firewall or authentication logs. Automated reports summarize security events, system health, and compliance status, giving teams and management a high-level view without reading raw logs. On the exam, when leadership needs an overview of security posture, the correct output is an automated report. Dashboards provide real-time and summarized visual displays of security metrics, alerts, and trends, allowing analysts to quickly understand the current situation. In a scenario where a screen shows live alerts and system status, the correct concept is a dashboard, because it offers situational awareness at a glance. Packet captures record network traffic at the packet level, including headers and payloads, allowing deep inspection of communications for forensic analysis. When CompTIA describes examining the actual contents of network traffic to see what was transmitted, the correct tool or data source is packet capture. The key takeaway is that logs and related data sources are the evidence trail of cybersecurity, allowing defenders to detect attacks, investigate incidents, and reconstruct exactly what happened. And if this helped you understand today's topic, consider liking and subscribing for more cybersecurity lessons like this.